Welcome back to Only Pools Podcast. I'm your host, TK, the guy who still thinks pool noodles are a legit workout tool.
And I'm Brian, owner of AquaServ Pools, the guy who actually knows what he's doing when it comes to pools. Thanks for tuning in, folks.
You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. Dive into discussions, no topics too small. From kiddie pools to water parks, we cover it all. We got pool parties and cannonballs too. If it's about water, we talking to you. Interviews with experts and stories to share. From poolside barbecues to water care. We got tips and tricks to keep your pool right. Listen in the morning or at the late night. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Every last homie. Only Pools Podcast. Let's go.
Today we're diving into the deep end, literally. We're busting some of the craziest pool myths out there. Some of these are wild, Brian. I need to know, is it true that peeing in the pool can turn the water different colors? Be honest, my childhood depends on it.
TK, I hate to disappoint you, but that is a total myth. There's no magical dye that reacts to pee. If there was, trust me, pool maintenance would be a lot easier.
So wait, all those warnings from adults were just psychological warfare to scare us into behaving?
Exactly. Parents just didn't want their kids treating the pool like a toilet. But while we're on the topic, let me say this. Pee in the pool does mess with the chlorine balance. So yeah, don't do it.
Got it. So it's not like glowing yellow water, it's just chemical chaos.
Pretty much. And speaking of chemicals, here's another myth. Crystal clear water means the pool is clean. It's not true at all. You can have clear water that's full of bacteria.
Oh, wait, what? So you're saying I could be doing a backstroke in a petri dish?
Basically, clear water just means that there aren't a lot of visible contaminants, but it doesn't mean that the water chemistry is balanced. You need proper chlorine levels to kill bacteria and other nasties.
Okay, so what's the checklist for a truly clean pool? Asking for a friend.
A friend. Well, you want to test the pH levels. Keep it between 7.2 and 7.8. Check chlorine levels. Make sure that your filters are running properly, and shock the pool when needed. Oh, and skim out all the debris. Leaves don't belong in the pool, no matter how much they add ambience.
Hey, those leaves are called natural vibes, Brian.
Natural vibes will clog your skimmer baskets, trust me.
All right, myth number 3. Here's one I've always wondered about. Can your pool water turn your hair green?
Actually, yes, but it's not the chlorine that does it. It's copper. If your pool has high levels of copper, maybe from algicides, old plumbing, it can react with your hair, especially if it's dyed blonde.
So it's basically giving you a free leprechaun cosplay.
Something like that. The fix is to keep your pool's chemical levels balanced, and if needed, use a cleaning agent to remove the metals from the water.
All right, last myth, and this one's for the conspiracy theorists out there. Can you tan faster in a pool?
Actually, there's a bit of truth to that. Water can reflect and amplify UV rays, so you might get more sun exposure. But remember, UV rays don't care where you are. Pool, beach, or backyard. Wear sunscreen, people.
Brian with the public service announcement. All right, I think we've officially busted enough myths for one day. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Yeah, don't believe everything you hear about pools. Do a little research, or better yet, call a professional, and please stop asking me if you can turn your pool into a hot tub by just cranking the heater. That's not how it works.
Wait, it doesn't? Dang. Well, there goes my weekend plans. All right, folks. Thanks for listening to the Only Pools Podcast. Keep your water clean, your myths busted, and your pool noodles ready for action. We'll catch you next time.
See you next time. Welcome back to The Pool Point, where we dive into the deep end of pool maintenance with a splash of humor and a lot of straight talk. Today's topic, burning eyes in your pool. And no, it's not the chlorine's fault. Here's the scenario. I'm doing my thing, testing water, cleaning filters, then it happens. You come out, rubbing your eyes like you've been hit with a bucket of sand. And you say, my eyes are burning, the chlorine's too high again, isn't it? Here's the thing, Karen. Your chlorine level is perfectly fine. It's not the chlorine that's causing your eyes to feel like you've been stuck in a fog machine at a rock concert. What's actually happening is your pH is too low. Yep, it's a sneaky little number that no one thinks about until it ruins your day. When your pool's pH is low, it means the water is too acidic. And guess what happens when you swim in acidic water? Your eyes get irritated. Your skin starts to feel like you've been dunked in vinegar. It's not the chlorine, it's the pH. And let me tell you, low pH will turn your pool into a cauldron of discomfort faster than you can say eye drops. Now, I know you've heard all the horror stories about chlorine and red eyes, but the truth is, high chlorine levels don't cause burning eyes. That's just a myth. What really happens is that when your pH is low, the chlorine becomes more active than it should be, which can lead to irritation. But that's not the chlorine's fault. It's just doing its job in the wrong conditions. It's like blaming the fire for burning the toast. It's not the fire's fault, it's the cook's. Let me give you an analogy. You wouldn't pour orange juice into your car's gas tank and expect it to run smoothly, right? Well, your pool's chemistry works the same way. When your pH is out of balance, nothing else works as it should. Chlorine, alkalinity, nothing. And that's when you end up with irritated eyes, dull water, and a pool that feels more like a chemistry experiment than a place to relax. Now, I get it. Everyone's quick to blame the chlorine. It's the obvious villain. It's strong, it's powerful, got a reputation for stinking up your swimsuit. But the truth is, proper chlorine levels won't cause problems if your pH is where it needs to be. If you want to keep your eyes happy and your pool sparkling, you've got to balance everything. And that includes keeping that pH in a sweet spot. So, next time you feel that burn, don't blame the chlorine. It's not out to get you. It's the pH that's throwing the temper tantrum. And you need to bring it back in line before you end up looking like you just took a swim in a bottle of lemon juice. So that's it for the pool point. Until next time, remember, a balanced pool is a happy pool, and no one's getting eye drops when everything's in sync. Until next time, just keep swimming.
You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. You ever go swimming, man? It's so much fun. Now we got a podcast joining everyone, talking about pools, the stories we share, from backyard splashing to Olympic fair. We got chlorine, pH, and filter tips. Keep your pool fresh, avoiding no slips. With hosts so cool and guests so neat, we're dropping pool knowledge that it can't be beat. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. Dive into discussions, no topics too small. From kiddie pools to water parks, we cover it all. We got pool parties and cannonballs too. If it's about water, we talking to you. Interviews with experts and stories to share. From poolside barbecues to water care. We got tips and tricks to keep your pool right. Listen in the morning or at the late night. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. O is for only, the best place to be. P is for pools, come dive in with me. P is for podcast, we talking weekly. Only Pools Podcast, the one and only. Grab your goggles and your floaties too. Tune in to our show, we got stuff for you. Poolside chats to aquatic news. Only Pools Podcast, you can't refuse. We teach you how to clean, how to keep it clear. The best pool stories that you'll ever hear. From summer fun to maintenance prep. Only Pools Podcast, we're your best bet. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. Only Pools Podcast. Let's go.